I'm Jim Hull. This is part of the Back to Business Basics program. The purpose of this program is to have a video each week that brings us back to thinking about what we need to keep in mind for our business to be successful. We need to be talking about making some money for you, and that's what we're going to get into. Now, while the title is basics, they are not basic items. These are key things that you need to know and understand in order to be successful in your business. This is the first video on marketing. There'll be more videos on marketing. There's a lot of material in marketing that we really need to get into and talk about, but we'll start with this. First, a quick background on me. I've got 30 years in corporate America, been doing a lot of different activities in these organizations, big companies, so I've learned a lot from them. Then I took early retirement, decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I saw how they did it, and I decided I could do it a little bit better. So I went in and started running some companies, and I've been doing that ever since, and now I'm doing some coaching and helping other people run theirs. So that's where I've gone in. That's what I've gone into. So we'll talk more about me and why I'm doing this series and so forth later in the videos. But for now, let's get into the real meat of it. I picked 7 topics to start with. So our Marketing 101 topics are going to cover the purpose of a business, where does marketing fit in, how to save money and how to save your business. We're going to start by talking about the niche or target or market. We're also going to cover 3 keys to marketing. What is the 4th key that isn't talked about quite as much, but that's where you make the real money. And then I'm going to give you a tip on how to quickly make some money. All right, let's get started with a business. What is a business? A business has to solve some kind of a problem for somebody. It's got to satisfy a need. So if you're thinking about starting a business, think about, do you have something that somebody wants? If they want what you're offering, then they'll consider buying. But the more important aspect of a business has to make money. Now, you might laugh at that and say, oh, well, that's kind of obvious, isn't it? Believe me, I've worked with a lot of people where it's not really obvious. They decided to do the business, but they're doing it for reasons that have nothing to do with money. And guess what? That business is not going to succeed. It's not going to make money. Eventually, they'll go bankrupt, or they'll stop and they'll walk away from it. But there's a lot of things that we do that sometimes don't make sense when you remember you're supposed to be making money. So keep that in mind, and I'm going to remind you of that as we go on. Now, where does marketing fit in? How does marketing fit into your business? Well, basically, it's everything. That's what your business really is. In fact, you need to stop thinking that you're in the business of running a plumbing service or running a beauty salon or being a real estate agent or being a pest control operator or running and operating an apartment community. That's not the case. You are a marketing business and you are offering some service or some product. It's a key difference, and you need to grasp that. You need to understand it. You've got to start thinking, my business is marketing, because that's what you have to do. Nonstop, all the time, you have to be marketing, because everything about your business really is marketing. Without marketing, where are you going to be? No one knows anything about your product. Without marketing, no one knows why they should be involved with you and why they might be interested in listening to you about your product. Those are keys that people don't necessarily grasp. Without marketing, how do they know if they should buy from you versus the next person down the street? or skip over your website, go to the next website. Marketing is what you're going to educate them and explain to them and prepare them for what you want them to do. And that's to be buying your product. Without marketing and sales, nobody buys your product. And if nobody buys your product, then you aren't making any money. Therefore, you're not in business. So keep that in mind. Marketing is everything. You really have to have that. Now, let's go on to number 3, how to save you some money and how to save your business. So let's assume that you're doing some marketing right now. Let's hope, unless you're brand new. So if you're doing some marketing, somewhere you're spending money, right? Let's say you're running an ad. You pay $100 to run that ad, and you get back $90. What are you going to do next week? Are you going to run another $100 ad that brings in $90? Or maybe you should run $1,000 worth of ads, and that'll bring in $900. Is that what you want to do? If that's what you want to do, you're in the wrong place. Or you're in the right place and you need to listen very, very closely. If you're doing marketing, when you're doing marketing, because you have to be doing it, look at the amount of money that you're spending and look at the amount of money that's coming in. If you are not bringing more money in than you are spending, stop. Stop right now. That ad, that process, that campaign, whatever it is you're doing, it is not working. You have to bring in more. What you want is to spend $100 and bring in $400. Now, what are you going to do? Well, what I would do is I'd go out and take a second mortgage on the house and bring in 10,000 or 20,000 or something, because if I'm spending 100 and bringing in 400, then I have a gold mine. You have to think of marketing as an investment, not as an expense. Ignore the accountants. They're bean counters, and they're trying to follow things based on rules and ideas and things that people have come up with. And that's all fine and good for comparison and so forth. But the bottom line is, you as the owner have to be thinking, if I'm spending money on marketing, I've got to be getting more money back. It's an investment. I invest money and I want to get all of my money back plus more. Marketing has to be an investment. If you're not making money, then you're doing something wrong. You have to stop. So in order to save money for your business, go look at every one of the marketing activities that you're doing. Look at how much money you're spending on it and how much money is coming back in. If you have less coming in than you have going out, stop it. Stop it now. You're wasting that money. You're throwing it away. You're going bankrupt because you're spending more than you're bringing in. I hope that makes sense, because that's extremely important. Next item, number 4 that we'll talk about. You have to know who you're selling to. Are you selling to a household? Could be the woman of the house, the man of the house. Are you selling to people who run some other business and they want to buy your product? They need your solution. Who is it that you're selling to? This is called the market that you're dealing with. Also called your target market or target person. You could have created an avatar that represents the person that you're selling to. You could, well, they call it a niche as well. So all of those are different words for the same thing. Who is it that you're selling to? So the first thing we talked about was you've got a solution to a problem. You've got a way to cover a need. So good. Now, whose need is it? Who needs that? Do I need it? Do you need it? Does everybody need it? What is it? You have to think about that, and you have to make sure you know who they are and what they want. One of the reasons when you're marketing, you have a choice on how you're going to reach your market. I happen to live in Houston, Texas. There's 4 million people in Houston, Texas. Okay? So if I want to market to people in Houston, Texas, do I run an ad that's going to reach all 4 million people? Do I try to put something on the internet that's going to reach all 4 million people? That's not necessarily the best thing to do. That can be very, very expensive. And remember, since marketing is an investment, if I'm spending a whole bunch of money, I've got to bring back a whole bunch of money. And if I'm not doing that, I have to what? Stop it. Stop it now, because you're going bankrupt. All right, so let's take an example. I've run a pest control business, and one of our clientele is apartment communities. So, okay, there's 5,000 apartment communities in Houston, Texas. So, should I market to 5,000 people, 5,000 organizations? Should I try to reach all of them? Well, I could do that. But let's go at it backwards. Let's say I start with how much money do I want to take home? How much profit do I want to have at the end of the year? And for the sake of this example, I'll arbitrarily say I want $100,000 profit, take home money, going in my pocket. I'm going to get to keep this, $100,000 in a year. Now, how many clients do I need in order to get me $100,000? So this is okay. Well, when I deal with apartment communities, I'm killing bed bugs. And so the treatments and looking at the time and all the rest of it, I will typically clear, let's say, $150 a treatment. I will typically deal with 2 treatments a month. So that's $300 a month I would get from a particular client. And so for 12 months out of the year, with that average, I'd make $3,600 from that client. Let's round that up to 4,000, because a lot of times there's more. Excuse me. A lot of times there's more than just 2 a month, especially in the summer when bed bugs love to thrive and so forth and so on. So let's just round it up a little bit. So I'll get $4,000 profit from an apartment community that I'm working with. Well, if I want to make 100,000 and I'm getting 4,000 from one, that means I need 25 apartment communities that are clients of mine and that are using me at that rate and paying those prices. 25. There's 5,000 here in the city. So, am I going to market to 5,000? Or am I going to market to a small group that will get me the 25 that I need? So I did an analysis and says, well, okay, I can get a couple hundred, 200 to 300, 400, if I stay within 30 miles of my office. And that's beneficial because you got to drive to the property, you've got the time invested in doing the work, and then you've got to drive back home. So maybe you can move from one apartment to the other, but they don't always schedule on every day the way they should, the way we would like them to. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. So I said within 30 miles. That's not too bad. I can drive there in half an hour, drive back in half an hour, and so forth. And then I started looking at the different types of apartments. So I narrowed down a definition of this is the type of an apartment I want to go to. I want it this close. And so I'm marketing to 200 to 300 apartments, trying to get 25 regular customers. And if you keep a customer happy, you can usually keep them for a couple of years. The reason you can't is because the staff may turn over, the property management company may turn over. So we count ourselves lucky if we keep them 2 years. And things change over time. So that's it. But now think of the difference. I'm not marketing to 4 million people anymore. I'm not marketing to 5,000 apartment communities anymore. Now I'm looking at 200, 300. I don't have to create a flyer and distribute it to 5,000 communities. I could distribute a flyer to 300 and then see how many I get. And if I get more than the cost of the flyer, then I can do it again. I can give them a flyer every month until they finally say, okay, we're sick and tired of you giving us these flyers. And, yeah, you're nice and you give us a flower sometimes with the flyers and we like that. Okay, fine, we'll just try you out. And if they try us out, they like it because the service is good. That's a key. So focus in on who you want to provide the service to and narrow it down. Could I market to 5,000? Sure, but it costs a lot more. Why bother? If I'm happy with 100,000 a year and I got 25 clients, I'm done. If I want to grow the business, I can add an extra operator. I can say, okay, we're going to take on some more. And that operator happens to live, let's say, 50 miles from our office. I says, well, that's good. We'll go over there and we'll let you pick something 30 miles from you. And we'll give you all the material you need. And so you can go directly from your house to provide the service for these people. So I can expand in any number of different ways. But I started by knowing who that particular client was that I wanted to get to. And I narrowed it down to a small enough group that I could afford to advertise and market to them, communicate to them, convince them to try me. That's what you need to do with your business. If you're in a town that's got 4 million people, well, it doesn't make any difference how many. You don't need all of them to be your client to be successful in your business. And if you're making 100,000 and your goal is, okay, fine, I want to make 200,000 next year, great. You know exactly what you need. You need another 25 clients. Or in my case, in my example, I need another 25 clients. How am I going to get them? Well, maybe I go from 30 miles to 35 miles. Or maybe I start working in another area and say, okay, I'm going to go over to that area and I'm going to work both of these. There's all kinds of ways to do it, but they're much more affordable. All right. There are 3 key areas in marketing when they talk about it. The first, we just kind of went through already because it's an important part of understanding all of the rest, and that is who are you marketing to. They call it the 3 M's: marketing, message, and medium or media. So who are you going to market to? Who are you trying to sell? Who are you trying to convince to be a client of yours? What's the message you're going to deliver to them? And then how are you going to deliver that message? So let's take a look at this. Your message. When you're talking about your message, you have to think about it from the point of view of the person you're trying to communicate to. The first thing that they're going to be asking is, why should I be listening to any message about this product from you? Think about when you listen to an ad. You hear something on TV, you hear something on the radio, you get a flyer in the mail, if you even open it. Aren't you always asking yourself that message? Why should I listen to this? Why do I care about this? What's in it for me? That's a good one with them. What's in it for me? WIIFM. So you've got to get that across to them very quickly so that they'll understand and know why they should be listening. Because if there's no reason, they just go away. The next question they're asking, what could this possibly do for me? So if I'm selling a bed bug treatment and all of a sudden a flyer shows up in a restaurant, they're going to say, why? It doesn't apply to me. I don't care. So I've got to make sure I'm targeting the people that it applies to. But I've got to convince them this is something that happens to you. Oh, yeah, I guess I do have those problems. The next one, if I think I want to listen more, why should I listen to you? You specifically. Now, what is it about you that makes them want to listen to you? What can you say that will get that across to them? And the next one goes right with it. What makes you better than the guy next door or on the next website? So they think there's something here important to listen to. They think it applies to them. Now you're trying to get through to them that I'm the right person to be talking to. And so one of the other things they'll ask themselves is, are you unique? Or are you just another person trying to get my money? What makes you unique? And if you're unique and you're special, it's, oh, okay, this guy who's got a product that I now think is important to me, maybe I want to listen to him because, oh, he's an expert. Or let's see, maybe he says he's cleaner than all the other guys. And cleanliness is important to me. So I like that. Or maybe his product is more durable, it lasts longer, or his service is better. My hair comes out better when I go to that salon rather than this other one. Why is that? I guess they use a different kind of product. I don't know. You can use that. What makes you stand out from your competition? So the message that you have to get across to these people, you've got to try to answer all of these questions. This is important. Well, all of this stuff is important, but think about how you react. For the next couple of days, just think about, this guy's trying to sell me something. Why do I want to listen to this message about this product? What could this possibly do for me? And if I think I want to listen, why should I listen to this particular person? And what makes him better than the guy next door or down the street? Or, oh, I can go do a web search and I can find people that are even better than this guy. And what makes him unique? And what makes him stand out from the competition? Check yourself and see whether or not you're asking those same questions. And then whoever it is trying to market to you, you watch them and see if they answer those questions to your satisfaction. The next item that we go into is the media or medium. So this is talking about, are you going to use a newspaper ad? Are you going to use a postcard? Are you going to use direct mail at all? Are you going to do a radio ad? What is it that you're going to use to communicate your message to them? How are you going to do that? This goes back to your target. What is the target that you're after, the person that you're after? What does he listen to? He or she? Do they listen to radio? And do they listen to the advertisements on radio? Do they watch TV? Can you even afford TV? Well, maybe you can, but maybe you can't. What about a flyer? Maybe what you want to do is you want to get to people who have just bought a house or within the last 6 months have bought a house. Because, a lot of times you buy a house, you move in, and you got 10,000 flyers that have appeared on your doorstep the first day. And what do? You grab them and you throw them away. You don't care about the ones on the first day. Maybe the second week, maybe the second month, But maybe that's a way to get through to the people that you want to deal with, especially if you want a targeted area. Maybe you want people that are in a lower income area because what you're selling is something that's going to particularly apply to them or appeal to them. Maybe you want somebody in a higher income area because you're offering a higher end service and it costs more and you want to do things. Maybe you're going for apartment communities like I was. So you figure out, what am I going to do to communicate my message to these people? If you go and listen, everybody should be running Facebook ads, right? Well, that was an interesting one for me. I'm trying to market to an apartment community, and I says, okay, if I market to Facebook, since everybody's on Facebook, then all these people will see it, right? Well, the people who make those decisions are not using Facebook to learn anything. An apartment manager, they're on Facebook to stay in touch with their friends or their family. So Facebook isn't necessarily a good idea for them. Is it for your business? At one point, I did a study to try to figure out how important was a website. And I found that only, what was it? It was 12% of the people that I talked with said they would search for a pest control company on a website, on the web itself. So that was very interesting. What I also learned is almost 70% of them went to somebody that they knew and trusted and said, do you have a pest control company that you know and trust? Because one of the unique things about a pest control or a lot of home service organizations, they have to trust you enough to let you in the house. If you're not reputable, they're not going to have you come in the house. Yeah, you can cut the grass. We don't care about cutting the grass because you got a door there, But coming in the house is a little different. So they relied a lot on word of mouth referrals. So you push for word of mouth referrals. Okay, now let's go into number 4. You had the 3 M's, your market, your message, your medium. And the 3 M's, they just go so well together. But there's a 4th key, and this is really where you're making money. This is the upsell or the add-on sale. What else do you do? And think about, you're in a store, and it's every single store now. You pick something, and you've got what you wanted, and you go to the cash register, and what does the cash register have surrounding it? It's got all kinds of other things for you to buy. Every single cash register seems to have one of those little flashlights now. Oh, you can buy a flashlight, or you can buy this power energy drink, or you can buy this piece of candy, or you can buy this ruler, or you can buy this and the other. Depends on what store you're in. There's always something. Those are add-on sales. The idea is you have gone for your target, you've attracted them with your message, you've gotten them into your location or gotten them willing to buy. It doesn't have to be in a physical location. And so now they're doing business with you, they're spending money with you, they're giving you money. Oh boy, cool. To ask them to give a little bit more, very easy. They already trust you. They already like you. They already believe enough in you that it's okay. So they'll say, oh yeah, okay, fine. So it makes no difference what you're doing. You're in a beauty salon, you get your hair done, everything is wonderful, and you just love it, they're all said and they're all done, and then they say, oh, what would help you with your hair is if you bought my lovely little product that I use. This product is kind of like the secret of keeping your hair wonderful, soft, stopping it from being fly away. And here we have a hard hairspray one, and then we got this, and we got that. It's an add-on sale. Oh yeah, I like you. I trust you. You've done a fabulous job with my hair, with my landscaping, killing my bugs, whatever it is. You've done wonderful. Sure, I'll spend a little more money with you. It doesn't have to be big. You've already invested all of the marketing dollars you need to. Now all you have to do is be nice and ask the question, would you like this? Would you like fries with that? Would you like to supersize? Oh boy. All of a sudden, McDonald's and all these others, oh yes, would you like a hot apple turnover as a dessert with that Happy Meal today? That's all it is. They've already got you. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Most of them will just ask you one thing, but if you buy one thing, then they'll ask you again, and they'll ask you again, and they'll ask you again. These products, one of the characteristics of them is typically they're very high margin. Another characteristic is there's no marketing cost. It's just the person's already willing to buy from you. You ever? Oh yeah, Amazon. Let's talk about Amazon. You buy something, and what do they pop up? Oh, people who bought this also bought this and this and this. Are you interested? You know? Why, yes. Yes, I like that. I'm going to buy that one too. Cool. So you buy that. Oh, people who bought this also bought this and this and this. Think about what you can do in your business to do an add-on sale, an upsell. You know, an upsell is like, well, I'd like to have the regular size of this. And okay. And we'll gladly sell you the regular size. But did you know you get this in a movie theater? You know, the extra size, it's it's only another 25 cents for the cup. You've already spent the $1.75 on it. Why not another 25 cents and you go to a bigger size? You know what it costs the theater? Probably 1 cent. So cool. They charge you 25 cents more, and 24 cents of that is profit. You start looking at these things and see what they're doing, and then start thinking about your business. Maybe you only have one product. Sell somebody else's product. It makes no difference. It doesn't make a difference. If you can buy a product and turn around and resell it to these people because they want it, because it's related. So that's unique to your business. You've got to look at your business and you got to figure out, what else could I add? Either I go from regular size to super size, that's an upsell, or it's an add-on sale. Well, you bought this, would you like to buy that? Would you like to buy that? Would you like to buy that? And you don't want to be irritating. I know I make it sound like it's irritating, because sometimes it irritates me because they keep asking, oh yeah, how about buying this? But they typically only ask you once for your answer. Like at Amazon, you buy one and they'll show you three things, three or four. I can't remember exactly what that bar is, but usually it seems like it's three. Okay. And if you say no, they don't push you. I think if you buy one of those, then they might ask you again. You know, oh, you bought this book. Oh, well, people who read that also really like this book. It's one of the marvelous things that Amazon started putting together. They started putting this information together. So, oh, somebody buys this, they also buy that. And just by showing that to us, we love it. Oh, yeah. And Amazon keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger. So you can use the exact same thing. Okay, the seventh thing I want to talk about today, quick idea on how to make money. So you've been in business for a while. You've been making money. You've been doing some kind of marketing. And early on in the life of your business, you tried a marketing campaign. And that marketing campaign worked. And you made a bunch of money. So that's why you stayed in business, because it made you some money. And then you went on and said, okay, this campaign, let me try this one. Let me try this one. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Yeah. But you stopped doing one of those early ones that really worked. Or anywhere along that stream, anything in the past, it worked and you didn't do it again. Shame on you. Go back and think about it. From the beginning of your business's time, what has worked? Pick it and run it again. Pick it and run it again. Pick it and run it again. And see what happens. Now think about this. You spend $100, and let's say you get $200 back, which is really darn good. I wish we could always do that with marketing. So, okay, that's good. A month later, you spend that $100 the exact same way, the exact same ad, the exact same media, and you make $190. Oh, darn, I didn't make as much. Dude, you still made a profit. You're still making money on your investment. So what if that 190, that 200 goes to 190, goes to 175, goes down to 150, goes down to 140, and all of a sudden it levels out at 140. Whoa. Every time you spend that $100, you get $140 back. Go mortgage your house and keep putting $100 bills in there so that you can get 140 back. So go watch that. Look for programs that work, but for whatever reason, somebody talked you into, let's go do another one. Yeah, and use it again. All right, that concludes what I have for today. So each of these videos will have some unique length. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not going to try to standardize on a length right now. I'm going to select topics that add in a general category. So this was marketing, and I'll do some more in marketing. So as time goes on, I'm going to do more and more different categories. I have a current list right now of about 75 items. It actually came out of a book that I wrote, and as soon as I finish going through the process of getting that published, I'll make that available to you. In some cases, they'll be combined to be better covered, the subject, and so forth. So it's very likely that any questions you have about running your business, they'll get covered. But eventually being covered isn't necessarily good enough for you. If you've got a burning issue and you can't wait for me to get to it, feel free to drop me a note. My email address is right there on the screen, jim@theprofitmaestro.com. And I'll do my best to get the information that you need in a timely fashion. You know, in some cases, I may respond to you. In some cases, I may just say, okay, if somebody wants this, I'll pull it out of the slot that I have it in, and I'll move it back up. I'll move it up to an earlier slot. And if you want an appointment to talk longer or consider doing additional work together, then there's a link there, bit.ly/clarity-call, where we can set something up. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will come back and listen. I will be sending these out once a week, ideally on Wednesday, as long as I don't have any interruptions. Then we'll just keep going from there, and I'd love to hear from you. So let me know what you think of this one and any topic suggestions, whether it's a burning issue or not. So you have a great day.